Hello everyone and welcome back to StudyBuddy.code's YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll discuss another physics equation which is known as the ellipse equation. So what is an ellipse in the first place? Well, this has been explained in Kepler's first law of planetary motion. Kepler's first law of planetary motion states that every orbiting object follows a path that is in the shape of an ellipse. So from this, we can clarify out that an ellipse is in the shape of an oval, okay? And an orbiting object follows this path, which is known as an ellipse. A point to remember is that the orbiting object is at a point called the focus and not at the center. This is the center, and the orbiting object is not at this point, but somewhere at the focus, which we'll discuss later on in this video. Okay, before finding out where the focus lies on this graph, let's analyze this graph a little bit. This oval shape is nothing but the ellipse, and these points that these arrows are pointing out are nothing but the vertices of this ellipse. Now, let's label some things out. Starting with that, this vertical axis is the y-axis, and this horizontal axis is the x-axis, right? And let's label where the major axis is and where the minor axis is. The minor axis is from this vertex to this vertex, and the major axis is from this vertex to this vertex. So instead of saying from vertex to vertex, we can actually write something out. The minor axis is the width of the ellipse, okay, because it's the width of this ellipse. And the major axis is the length of the ellipse, because it's the length of this ellipse. Now, we have clarified out what the minor axis is and where the major axis is. Now, let's move on to what the ellipse equation shows us. Okay, so here's the ellipse equation, which is x squared divided by a squared plus y squared divided by b squared, which equals to 1. Here, let's clarify out a few things. A equals the half of the major axis, and b is the half of the minor axis. Let's draw that out on the graph with another color. Okay, so this part is A, and this part is B. Okay, now let's go back to the equation. Here, x and y are variables, and a and b are, well, they're also variables, but then they depend on the ellipse. So here's how. The ellipse is definite, right? So when we get a question, a and b are usually provided by the ellipse, because we can see that b is 3, because 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So b equals 3, and a equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So half of major axis is a, which equals to 6 in this ellipse. In some other ellipse, it can be different, and usually it's given by the ellipse. A and b are given by the ellipse, because they're just the half of the minor axis and half of the major axis, right? But x and y are something like the variables. Like, we're trying to find out if a point is on the ellipse. So for example, I have the point 1, 2, for example. I can check if this is on the ellipse by exchanging x with 1 and y with 2 and a with, in this case, 6 and b, in this case, 3. And I can see if it equals to 1, and if it does equal to 1, then it is a point on the ellipse, and if it is not equal to 1, then it's not on the ellipse. Okay, so to understand the ellipse equation a little bit more, let's check if the point 1, 2 lies on the ellipse. So here we're going to take x equals 1 and y equals 2. And for AB, we are going to take it from the graph, which is A equals 6 and B equals 3. Let's go ahead and use this equation. So this side, which is the left-hand side, should be equal to 1. Let's check. So x squared, instead of that 1 square, instead of a square, 6 square, plus 2 square divided by 3 square equals 1. 1 square is 1, 6 square is 36, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, and yeah, let's add this up. Since the denominators are not equal, here the denominator is 36 and here the denominator is 9. So let's equal these denominators by multiplying 4 to 9, which will give us 36. And since we're multiplying 4 to the denominator, we have to multiply it in the numerator too, which will give us 1 by 36 plus 4 times 4, 16, divided by 9 times 4, which is 36, equals 1. This will give us 16 plus 1 equals 17. So 17 divided by 36, which is definitely not equal to 1. So here we can clarify that the point 1, 2 does not lie on this ellipse. Okay, so let's check this on a calculator too. So here I'm using a website called Desmos. It's a graphing calculator, so let's use that. 1 square divided by 6 square plus 2 square divided by 3 square, which is not equal to 1. Yep, 0.47 is not equal to 1. Okay, so now that we have found out if 1 by 2, point 1 by 2 lies on the ellipse, and we have clarified on what the ellipse equation is about, let's move on to finding the foci. Here, foci is nothing but the plural form of focus. Okay, and on any graph with the ellipse, there are two focus, focus 1 and focus 2. The equation or the point is C0 and negative C0. So it can be known as something like, since C is in the x place, this is x and this is y. Since C is in the x place, it's on the x-axis. So focus 1 is probably here on this side of the graph, and focus 2 is on this side of the graph because it's negative. Okay, so to find out C here, we have an equation which looks similar to finding out the Pythagorean theorem, right? So yeah, let's see what the equation is. C equals square root of a square minus b square. Let's plug in our a and b inputs, which is a equals c, a equals 6 and b equals 3. 6 square is 36. 3 square is 9. So square root of 36 minus 9 is square root of 27. Here I'm going to show again using the Desmos calculator. So 6 square minus 3 square. Here we're getting 5.1 because square root of 27 is 5.1. So we can take c equals square root of 27 or 5.19, but I prefer to take it as square root of 27. Okay, so c equals square root of 27. Let's mark that out. Focus 1 would be square root of 27, 0, and here it will be negative square root of 27. Let me just complete this. Right, with the 0, of course. Let's mark it out in our graph here. So square root of 27 is near to 5.19. So we can, so since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we can take it as here, 5.1, okay? And the same here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, these are our foci. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video to be helpful, share it with your friends so that they also can learn this equation. And if you liked the video, please also give a subscribe to the channel to receive such more videos in the future. Thank you.